Hey, it's Joe Crump. Next question. Your programs are so expensive, I just can't justify spending more money on training. Expensive is a relative term. It's expensive to buy a car, which would cost you $20,000, $30,000, $40,000. It's expensive to go to college, which costs $100,000 these days, if you just go to the 4-year college. It's expensive to buy a business where you can get a franchise, and cheap franchises where your carpet cleaning franchises will cost you $20,000, $30,000 for the franchise. If you look at business opportunities, there's very few businesses that you can buy for what I charge. So it's very, very cheap when you look at it that way. When you look at it as, okay, I make $20, $30, $40 an hour right now, I make $50 an hour right now, that's expensive for me. You know, to go out and spend that kind of money on your program is expensive for me. I'm already in debt, my credit cards are maxed out, I've got a lot of expenses every month, and it doesn't make sense for me to spend this money. Well, that's something you have to decide. If you're not in a position to do it, you should not do it. If you don't have enough money to feed your kids, to pay your rent, to take care of business, then you shouldn't be doing this program, because it is expensive. But if you do have enough to do that, and it might mean that you have to cut back on a few things, maybe it means you have to go to a few less movies or buy a few less cigarettes or whatever it is you have to do to make this happen, then maybe it does make sense for you to spend the money to make this happen. So, like I said, expensive is a relative term. I find that the people who need me the least are the most willing to pay for my program. They know that one little tweak to their business can make a huge difference in their income. And for them to spend, 10 grand on something like that and see $100,000 or $200,000 or $1 million in return, it makes a lot of sense. And I'm talking one little tweak can make a huge difference to your business. But if you're just getting started and you've never made money in real estate before, it's more difficult for you because you can't see the big picture. You can't see where the money is going. And so it makes it more difficult for you to spend that kind of money to get going. I would suggest to you that you find a teacher that you like, whether it's me or whether it's somebody else, and you pay them to help you learn this business. It doesn't have to be me, by the way. I mean, there's lots of people that teach good programs. I think mine is the best, but find one that you connect with. Find somebody that you like, somebody that you feel you can trust, and somebody who you know that you can personally speak with. I think the most important part of this process, and one of the things that I've been trying to do in my mentor program from the very beginning, is that I always have open communication with my mentor students. That's why I still do my own coaching calls. I get on those calls with those folks and they ask me questions and we talk personally about their businesses. And you're going to be able to hear on those calls the good things, the bad things that are happening to people, the negative, the positive, the deals they're working on, the tweaks. You're going to hear all my suggestions to them on how to make it work better. And I'll bet that there's a lot of things that they ask, that other students ask, that are going to benefit you, that you would have never have thought to ask. And they're going to give you ideas that you never would have had they not been on that call. So there's a real benefit in making that happen. So is the program expensive? Yeah, it's expensive, but it's like I said, it's a relative thing, and you've got to make a decision whether or not it makes sense for you. Hope that helps.